On appeal to, so that's the federal judge. On appeal to the Circuit Court of Appeals, reversed, holding that the jail's interest in safety and security outweighed the privacy interests of the detainee, and even those accused of minor crimes. That case was subsequently appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court granted a certiorari, which is bring up the old documents, on the 20th, April 4th of 2011. In the opinion of the court, Justice Anthony Kennedy held that officials may strip search individuals who have been arrested for any crime before admitting the individual to jail, even if there's no reason to suspect that the individual is carrying contraband. Kennedy was joined by Chief Justice John Roberts, Antonia Scalia, Samuel Alito, and Clarence Thomas. Justice Thomas joined all parts of Kennedy's opinion except for Part 4. So they can do what they want. Now, that's just one. Now, maybe the state of New York is not going to, further take this up because they know it's ugly. But they can take that to the Supreme Court and overrule all the other lower courts. We think that we have these rights, the privacy. I mean, they're already following you by phone and every other method. We don't have those kind of rights. And
you do.
Slowly being eroded away.
But you know what it is?
That's why we need organizations like the ACLU to make sure we continue to remain with the civil liberties that we have.
But you see, we have rights, but we don't know. I never knew that if an officer stops you, you don't have to answer any of the questions.
No, you don't. You do have the right to plead the fifth.
I never knew that. I thought that if the officer asks you any question, you got to answer all the questions. I did not know that.
About the whole, when you hear the whole Miranda thing, you have the right to remain silent.
No, that's when you get arrested.
You have the right to remain silent, period.
But I never knew that. And the other thing is that there is no law stating that you have to roll your window all the way down. There's no law stating that.
I would think that you would want to keep it up for what semblance of safety.
Because what it is that the officer is trying to find a reason why he should search your car, or find a reason why he should get you out of the car. And if you leave the window up that much, if you were drinking, they can't smell alcohol on your breath. So you're trying to protect yourself too from the officers.
Well, the times that I've been stopped by police, you know what I did? I jumped out of the car before they got to me. Everybody's like, "You're not supposed to do that."
Margie, you kind of crazy, Margie. That's nuts, That's just crazy.
Hey, but nothing's happening.
Now, what about our good friend Charles Barkley? Should we even get to Charles Barkley?
Well, I mean, again, black people, have all kinds of opinions, and I don't expect why anybody would expect us to think the same. Just like white people, you got white people out there with, other kids, all these kids,
But,
and then you got the white people who are like, yes,
but Marjorie, it's an experience as a person of color. There's an experience.
And white people must experience privilege too, but they see injustice. Some of them. So, I mean, we can't, I think there's another thing that the person that you didn't seem that excited about last night talking about Chris Rock. He said if people saw how rich people live, then they would really be rioting. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with Chris Rock.
I mean, there's so many just different divisions, class being among them, if not the foremost.
No, I'm in agreement with Chris Rock. I'm definitely in agreement with Chris Rock.
I don't want to. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, here we go. If poor people knew how rich people are, there would be riots in the street. Chris Rock said in a recent interview with a New York magazine. The multimillionaire comedian pointed out that poor people will be particularly shocked if they knew all the perks rich people get for being rich. If the average person could see the Virgin Airlines first-class lounge, they'd go, "What? What? This is food and it's free? And they what? Massage? Are you kidding me?" he said. If you have never flown Virgin Islands first class, or first class at all for that matter, those lounges of which Rock speaks are where upper class passengers can kick back with some amazing food, fantastic facilities, and a chilled-out atmosphere, according to the Virgin website. At the London Heathrow Airport, the Virgin Lounge has a spa and showers. Virgin Atlantic didn't respond to the Huffington Post request for comments. Lavish air travel is just the start. Rich people often get paid to wear jewelry. They get paid to lose weight. They're given free laptops and TV. They also get paid thousands of dollars just to show up at clubs. They get gifts back just for attending big award shows. Bags filled with goodies worth $20,000, which is more than a full-time minimum wage worker can earn in a year. Their kids' birthday parties have corporate sponsors. The divide between the haves and the have-nots is nothing new in America. But in recent decades, that gap has been getting wider as the middle class shrinks and the very richest Americans keep getting richer. Meanwhile, economists are warning that the world is heading towards the gilded age levels of inequality unless we do something to stop it.
Now,
it's already worse than most of us realize.
See what's happening. So when it gets like that, then we all turn on each other, and we turn on each other rather than looking at what the real issue is. I mean, these things come. The anger and frustration comes out of.
But Chris Rock keeps it real though.
Oh, he definitely keeps it.
He keeps it real though. I mean, as much as you listen. You. As a matter of fact, did you hear?
Ben Carson, before we go off, but go ahead.
Yeah. Let me see. Did you hear? Okay. Here is this one. Okay.
What are you doing? Another Chris Rock one?
Yeah. This is.
You run your ad yesterday.
Say that again.
You read one yesterday.
Here is another one.
I wanted to do a movie kind of about.
Did you hear this one?
In some ways, about black fame, because being famous as a black guy is a little different than being famous as a white guy. Tom Hanks is an amazing actor. Denzel Washington is a god to his people. Okay? Denzel Washington has a responsibility to his people that Tom Cruise and Liam Neeson and all these guys, they don't have. They just make their art. And no one goes, hey, Tom Cruise, stay white. Don't forget your whiteness. Come back and visit white people. What you doing for white people, Tom Cruise? Nobody says that to Tom Cruise. Yo, Stallone, what you doing for Italians, man? What are you doing for Italians? Like, no one says that.
What do they say to Denzel?
They want to know that Denzel loves his people, that Denzel is doing stuff for his people. And they feel Denzel's highs and lows more than white people feel Tom Hanks does a bad movie. There's going to be another good movie by somebody white next week. It's like, when Denzel does a bad movie, I might not see a good black movie for a year. I am really left out here hanging.
Did you feel that yourself in that room when you're writing and making this movie?
A little bit.
No. My top 5 is Jay, Nas, Scarface, Rakim, and then I might let Biggie get in there. My 6th man's LL Cool J. Before the show!
You said an interesting thing. I want to make a Chris Rock movie because you would sit with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And you knew what he was doing. He was making an Adam Sandler movie.
He really was making an Adam Sandler movie. But with men, I always say, men always dress like, we always get our fashion sense from whatever friend gets laid the most. Whatever friend gets laid the most, I guess I'll get those shoes. Okay, that haircut seems to work for him. I'll get that haircut. And so Sandler's like my biggest movie star friend. It's like, okay, I'll just do what he's doing. But it didn't kind of fit me. You know what I mean? Like I had to, it fits when I'm in a movie with him, but it didn't fit me to make a movie of the same tone as him, or even an Eddie Murphy movie. That wasn't my tone. And this movie, the important thing was I found a tone that works for me.
Stand-up will always be at the core of your life?
Yes, stand-up will always be at the core of my life. And
why is that?
I like it. I really like it. I kind of love it.
All my black friends have a bunch of white friends. And all my white friends have one black friend.
Seinfeld says you can do race better than anybody else because you can approach it better, that you can put it in a way that people get to the truth of race in America better than most.
Maybe. I mean, I'm from that era. I was bused to school in 1973. Think of it this way. The Tri-Rail Bridge has been the Robert F. Kennedy Bridge for about 20 years.
Yes.
We still call it the Tri-Rail Bridge. So when you pass a law, it takes like 20 years before, even though it's illegal to do certain things, it takes like 20 years or 30 years for people to like really get acclimated to things. So, yeah, I got bused to school. I was called nigger all the time, by students, teachers, janitors. So I know it. I really, 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 really know it.
And there's Chris Rock keeping it real, man. You know what? That's a brother that keeps it real. That's a multimillionaire brother that...
Well, what do you think about it, what he said? Do you think that every black man has to... Every black person, like Charles Barkley, does he have to, be beholden to other black people? Can he say whatever he really wants to say?
If it's true, yeah. If it's reality, yeah.
And reality is...
What Chris Rock is talking about is real. It's reality. Charles Barkley, Charles Barkley talks stuff because he wants to open his mouth. I mean, how could you call the kids in it's the same thing the media is doing. You calling the kids hooligans? You calling them hooligans? Scumbags. Come on, man.
Read that article. That article where this guy, I don't know what NFL player it was, how he felt,
Yes, Rich Garden Ferguson. And they had him on CNN.
Was that him?
Yeah.
I feel good about it, but I feel disgusted about it.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was really good.
Yeah, because you can have ambivalent feelings about all of this.
No. The way that guy expressed his feeling was excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. But when Charles Barkley calls people scumbags and people look like him, you got no respect, man. That's disrespectful. I mean, they're already calling you thugs, and you got your own people now calling you a scumbag. Come on, Charles.
Well, I don't know if you read that article I sent to you, which is really a sociological article, but there are 5 levels of oppression. And one of them is you just identify with the oppressor. So if I'm sitting with you and I'm saying, well, those people are scumbags, and my white friend is saying that, then they're, okay, well, you're not one of them. And I am identifying with that person rather than the people out on the street. It's another way of oppressing yourself because you don't identify with the people that look like you. So it's another form of oppression where you don't have to claim your...
Dr. Claude Anderson made a quote. A race that is taught to hate itself and love the world will become its own oppressor.
I could see that.
And Charles Barkley falls into that category.
But Charles Barkley wouldn't... I mean, I feel like saying the reason he is all that...
He's a millionaire.
He's all that,
But what happened is that the media... You see, this is like in corporate America. You pick someone to be the head honcho, a person of color, to be in charge, and you know for a fact that person is not going to promote qualified individuals that look like him, and he's just going to protect his position. Whatever he has to do. Charles Barkley appears to me to be like that. He's just, all Charles Barkley wants to do, man, I'm going to make that, and TNT's going to say, Charles, good job. You call those folks scumbags. That's the, Charles, you keeping it real, Charles. You telling your people like it is. You know what, Charles? You should run for governor. But he forgot about all the skeletons he had in his closet. You know, when you realize, oh man, I can't run